What's going on, guys? My name's Scott. If you have been stuck on starting your farm stand or growing your farm stand and you're just not really sure where to start, then this video is going to be for you. In the last video, we talked about kind of this reigniting, if you will, of this channel, hoping that kind of holding me accountable to put out a video every week to make sure that we are promoting good content to help you launch your farm stand, grow your farm stand, scale your farm stand in the right way. So if you have been wanting to do that and you want to start a farm stand this year in 2026, but you don't have land, you don't have a farm, you don't have animals, you're not even sure what products you want to sell, I think this video is going to be helpful for you. This video is going to be long, so I am going to warn you of that. It's not going to be a short, sweet, to the point video. So I want you to get out a pen and paper, start taking some notes, and we're going to jump right in. In the description below, you're going to find a couple of resources, which we'll talk about later on. You're going to find our How to Start a Farm Stand book that you can find available on Amazon. It's a step-by-step guide. It goes a lot more in depth than what I can cover in just one video. You're also going to find a link to our Farm Stand Toolkit. That's a digital download. If you are not much of a book reader, but you would much rather see a digital product available on your computer, that's going to be the product for you. And then you're also going to find a link to our Facebook group. So let's talk about that. All right. So again, remember, this video is only going to be for educational purposes only. I am not an attorney. I am not a business expert. I am simply sharing with you what's worked for us in our farm stand, in our business venture. If it's helpful for you, that's amazing. And we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit. But again, educational purposes only. In this video, we're going to cover a 5-step business plan. So 5 steps. Trying to make this as easy as we can. First, we need to have a basic business plan. We'll talk through what that looks like. So a business plan. The second is a product or products. I don't want us to get hung up on that. It's just going to be one thing. So product. The third thing is price. We're going to talk through how to actually price our products, how to price our goods. The fourth thing is going to be how to set up. Again, we're not going to make any of this complicated. Don't get overwhelmed yet. The fifth thing is going to be how to market and how to grow your farm stand. Because reality is, you don't want to just be stuck doing one thing forever. You want to be able to grow this. You want to be able to, whether it's, provide additional income for your family, have additional time with your family. You want to be able to get away from your work. Maybe you want to reduce hours at your work. This is a way to continue to grow that income to allow you to get to that next step. So a little bit about us. So my wife and I, we have ran a farm stand ever since it looked like this on the front of the book, a simple purple farm stand that we set up at the end of our driveway. It was made out of scrap lumber. It was nothing fancy. And we sold products that we turned into, or we sold products we made from our lavender plants. So we have a lavender farm in north central Ohio. And what we discovered was that we had a lot of customers who continue to ask, when will you sell products? When will you have this? Whether it's an oil, a cream, a food product. And it got us thinking, well, we have this lavender. We need to do something with it. We want to earn additional income on our property. What does that look like? So we've taken that purple farm stand, what we started with, and we ended up upgrading to a shed that we have since converted. It is a season-conditioned space. It is air-conditioned. We have a big cooler in there. We sell a lot more products. And as we began to grow, we discovered that our customers were asking for natural wellness products, essential oils, tallow bombs, various products like that. So we now have supplements and powders and electrolytes and protein powders and other skincare products, things like that. Why did we do that? Because we heard from our customers what they wanted, what they were hoping for, and we continue to grow with them. All right, so let's get into the plan. I want you to think through, again, this is a basic business plan. We're going to keep this basic. We're going to make this as easy and as simple as possible. So a basic business plan is going to include the first 3 things. I like to call those the 3 amigos. They are your mission, your vision, and your values. Okay, your mission, your vision, your values. Your mission is what you do right now. So what is your goal right now? You probably take care of your kids. You are keeping a home running. You are dreaming of doing different things. But right now is your mission. So your mission likely is providing care in your home, tending to your land, or wanting to do those things. Your vision is where you want to go. So you want to make 5 figures a year. You want to make 4 figures a year. You want to be able to use the money that you make to pay for your seeds next year for your garden. You have this idea that you want to grow your business. You want to grow your farm stand to provide food for others in your community. That's great. That is your vision. So where do you want to go? All right. And the third thing with this is your values. These are your guiding principles. These are things that you're going to stick to no matter what is going on. So when I think of values, I often, for us, we think of faith-based items. Okay. So that's going to be things like prayer. These are non-negotiables. We are providing care to our kids. We are going to church. We are making sure that the loved ones in our family are taken care of. Those are our values. So what are your guiding principles? What are the things that you will stick to no matter what is going on? Those are your values. And when you think of a basic business plan, you have to have that in mind. Your mission, your vision, your values. And I want you to remember this. Without vision, without having a goal for the future, you will only hit the unintended marks. So if you think of a big target, all right, where you have, arrows that are drawn back and they're going onto a target. If you don't have vision, if you don't have a plan for where those arrows are going to go, you're going to constantly miss. You're going to just be all around the target, if you will. You have to know where you're going in order to get going on that path. Oftentimes, when we think of starting a business, and a farm stand is a business, even if it's a hobby, you treat it as a business. When you have a business, when you have a vision for your business, you can nearly hit your goal every single time. There are going to be drawbacks. There are going to be setbacks. It's going to happen. But please understand that you have to have a goal. You have to have a direction for what you want. When we started our initial farm stand, our goal was simply to take our plants and turn those into something. We didn't know if people would even come. We didn't know if people would even be interested in these products. And here's the crazy thing. We set up a farm stand for 30 days straight, and we never sold a single thing. It wasn't until we hit day 31 that we actually made a sale. And I know what you're thinking. That is stupid. Why would you do that? It's because we had a goal, we had a vision that we truly believed people wanted products that were close to their home. They were clean, they were natural, and people would come. And we started with that goal in mind. We started with that vision in mind. And the reality is that people have come. We've been open now for 4 years, and people continue to come, and they continue to come every single day that we're open. So after you have your basic, your mission, your vision, your values, you're now going to answer 7 critical questions that are going to tell you who, what, when, where, why, and how. So the first question that you're going to ask is, who will you serve? And I want you to get specific on this. I want you to think through who it is that you're going to serve. You might be, let's just give the example that you are selling baked goods. Doesn't matter if it's cookies or if it's sourdough bread or if it's muffins or cakes. Let's just assume it's a food-based product. The who you serve cannot be everybody, because not everybody's interested in your food. The farm stands who are around us often have this question of, I have chickens, so they naturally lay eggs, so I'm going to sell eggs. And who do I sell to? Well, everybody, because everybody eats eggs. Well, no, not everybody eats eggs. And the majority of people who eat eggs, they're going to go down the street to the grocery store and they're going to go buy eggs for $1.50 a dozen. That's the reality. So when you sell eggs, and we sell eggs, we have chickens. The question is, well, why would somebody come to your farm stand to buy $4 eggs or $3 eggs or $5 eggs? Why would somebody come to you? And the reality is, when you figure out who it is you're selling to, and you get very specific on that, then you can immediately know who it is that you are selling to. And you can speak their language. And you can talk about their pain points. You can talk about their likes and their dislikes. You can speak directly to them. And they feel empowered. They feel connected. And they want to buy from you. So as an example for us here at our farm, our who are moms with children living at home, and they want high quality food and non-toxic products for their family. I can get even more specific than that, and I can tell you that our ideal customer is a female, typically between the ages of 20 to 50, and they typically have more expendable income. They may have a job outside of the home, or they may not have a job outside of the home, but they typically have expendable income where they're able to sacrifice, if you will, a little bit extra, because most people are not going to stop by a stand and pay, as an example, $3 or $4 or $5 for chicken eggs. But if they care about their health, they care about the health of their children, they care about the health and the wellness of their family, then they might actually prioritize that. And when you can begin to put products around that, and you can actually speak directly to your customer, they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel supported, and they want to continue to buy from you. So the second question you need to ask is what? What are you going to sell? But realistically, what is your ideal customer wanting to buy? And that's important. So what do they want to buy? What can you specifically offer that meets their need? So as an example, again, for us, we have tallow butter. It's a skincare product that we go through and we actually produce here at our farm. We produce it, we sell it, we make it, and we speak directly to that customer because they're looking for high quality, natural, non-toxic skincare products. So we provide a product that meets that need. We also have a beeswax lip moisturizer, a lip balm, if you will. We make that here. Why? Because that same client wants high quality, non-toxic products. We also have a tallow soap, a tallow-based soap. So you might have soap at your stand that has a lot of fragrance oils in it. We don't produce any fragrance oils. We don't add fragrance oils to any of our products. We use essential oils. Why? Because we know that our customer wants that, and that's what they desire. So you need to know exactly what your ideal customer wants, and then how can you actually find products that actually meet that need? Every product you have needs to meet a need of your ideal customer. Your ideal customer is not going to be the same as our ideal customer. Please understand that. And you don't have to be your ideal customer, but you have to be able to speak to that need. You have to be able to speak to their desires, their pain points, things that they want, things that they truly desire and would benefit from. So that's the what. The next question is, why would your ideal customer actually buy that product? Again, you figured out who your who is, you figured out what they would buy, and now you have to answer the question, why would they buy it? Specifically, why would they buy it from you? So a question that might help you kind of figure this out a little bit further is, what problem are you helping them solve? What problem are you helping them solve? Again, for us, our customer was looking for high quality, non-toxic products for their home. All right? Because when they go to the grocery store, or they go to Amazon, or they go to a local boutique, they're seeing a lot of things that have fragrance oils in them or other unlabeled products in them. And our customer specifically wanted items that don't have that. They don't have fragrances. They want to be able to see packages that they can read, that they can understand. And because we know who that ideal customer is, we can speak directly to them through social media, through an email list. We can educate them. We can communicate directly with them. We can relate to them. And it just begins to build this relationship. And that's really what you're trying to do. Anybody can put up a stand in their yard. Anybody can put up a porch pickup location. It goes a step further when you can actually speak directly to whoever that clientele is. One of the main questions we see in our group a lot is, how do I market? We'll talk a little bit more about this, but I just want to hit on it just for a few seconds. When you market to somebody, you don't have to spend money on advertising. You don't have to put up flyers. We have never put up any flyers. We have never shared flyers in our community. We did start a Facebook group in our community to build awareness of farms, to build awareness of farm stands. And that group honestly has been very successful, because not only has it helped us grow, but it's also helped other local food consumers, food growers continue to grow and develop. But when you know specifically who your ideal client is, you can begin to ask questions around that and be able to find problems or be able to answer concerns for them. I know what you're thinking. What if I don't know who my ideal client is yet, though? I don't know who my ideal customer is. That's okay. We didn't know that either in the beginning. If you know it already, that makes life completely different. It makes life a lot easier. But if you don't know who your ideal customer is, I encourage you to start thinking about a specific person in your mind. Get clear in your mind. Think about who they are. And maybe that's you. It's just you as another person that you're speaking to. But if you can get really clear on that, and you can identify what problems you have experienced or what problems you have wanted solved that your products would solve, you're going to be a few more steps ahead than anybody else. The next question we need to ask is where. So we've covered who, what, why, and now we're going to cover where. So where will you offer your products? Where will you offer your products? And I know you're thinking, well, obviously on my farm stand. And I understand that. I know that's kind of the idea with this. It's, a bake stand, farm stand, porch pickup. The first thing you need to do is actually check your local laws. If you live in an HOA or you live in a zoned community, you need to be checking your local zoning laws, whatever that looks like. I can't tell you what that looks like. You need to figure that out for yourself, unfortunately. The second thing, if you're going to be offering food-based products, cookies, candies, cakes, chocolates, whatever, you need to look into cottage food laws. Cottage food laws. And a cottage food is something that your state has identified as being a low-risk product, something that you can offer, that you can set up, and you don't have to go through any licensure or maybe just minimal licensure, and you don't have to get the food products tested. It is much, much, much easier to do cottage foods than it is to go through and sell syrups. You might be thinking, well, syrups I can make. I make that, and I use that in my home all the time. Just because you can make it in your home or just because you make it in your home does not mean you can sell it. Okay? So you need to understand that. As an example, I live in the state of Ohio. So in the state of Ohio, I cannot sell a simple syrup. But in another state, you can sell a simple syrup. Cottage food also stops at your state line. So wherever your state line is, you can't sell beyond that. Some people will say, well, that means I can't even have a website or I can't have social media because somebody somewhere might find my site, they might find my products, they might want to buy from me, and they may not live in my state. Don't get hung up on that yet. You need to use social media. That is the way you're going to grow. I promise you, that is the way you're going to grow. You don't have to have a website, but you can for free. You can set up other ways. But where you're going to sell, you need to follow local laws. Whatever that looks like for you in your area, you have to follow the laws. Again, you are going to be selling through a home-based farm stand. All right, call it a farm stand, call it a bake stand. It doesn't matter what you call it. It also doesn't matter what the name of it is. Okay? But you can sell it there. You can sell things through a website. Again, cottage food has to be inside of your state. And you can sell it at farmers markets, street fairs, street vendors. Not everybody who has a, quote, farm stand sells from their home. They might go somewhere and do a pickup location. The next question we need to ask is when. So when will you offer your products to the audience? Again, specific audience. You have your products. We're going to assume you already know what you're selling, why you're selling it. But when will you actually sell your products? And I want you to think through this. Do not be unrealistic. You are one person or you are one family. Don't set yourself up to fail and say, we're going to be open 24/7. You're going to burn yourself out. I promise you, you will burn yourself out. You say, well, I can do it from sunrise to sunset. You're going to burn yourself out. Get specific on when you want to actually set up. For us, we have actually kept this to where we only open 3 or 4 days a week. Mondays from like 9 to 6, Tuesdays 9 to 6, Fridays 9 to 6, and Saturdays 9 to 3. You say, why those days? Because they just worked for us. I would encourage you to at least have Friday and Saturdays because that's typically when people are going to be coming and grabbing things or getting things ready for the next week. Saturdays people usually have available, so having that available for you. But please don't be unrealistic. It's okay if you say no. It's okay if you say, we're not opening up this weekend. You're allowed to do that. Or we're not going to open up on this holiday. That's okay. You have a life. You need to have a life. Don't let this get so boxed in where it becomes this unrealistic thing for you and it just becomes this annoying thing that you just cannot, you just can't physically do. Make it make sense for you. Make it make sense for your family. The next thing is going to be how. So how will you physically connect with this audience? And again, social media is going to be your key. I cannot stress enough the need for social media. In this day and age, I understand if you do not like using social media. That's your choice. But here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Pick one. Pick one platform and do not go to multiple platforms. I have done that. I have done that for this. I have done that for other channels. And you will burn yourself out. You physically cannot do every channel. You can't have TikTok and do shorts and do reels and do Instagram and do Facebook and try to do everything. You just can't do it. You're going to do one thing well, or you're going to do nothing well at all. So how will you physically connect with this audience? For us, we use social media. We started a social media page even before we launched, before we set up, and we were insane, setting up for 30 days without a single sale. but we set up every day. And social media was our ticket to grow. If we didn't have social media, none of this would have been possible. It just wouldn't have been possible. So for us, and just using us as the example, we receive orders sometimes through Facebook Messenger. We don't like doing it that way, but when we first started, that's how we got a lot of our orders. We also had a Google Voice number, and we still have that same number, and we get messages through that, and we get text often from our customers through a Google Voice number. Again, that's free. The Facebook page is free. If you just use Instagram, that's free. If you just use TikTok, that's free. If you just use YouTube, that's free. Pick one channel, stick with that. Once you get good at that channel, that's when you can add on things like a website or email marketing, or texting, or having a Google My Business profile. There are some things that you should do, and there are some things that just continue to muddy everything down, continue to water it out. So how will you physically connect with your audience? You need a way to do that. And please understand, social media is great to get out there, to get reach, for people to be able to find you and know about who you are. You need to connect inside of local Facebook groups. Local Facebook groups are amazing. There are ways to do it in spam. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be the person that gets banned from every community group. I've known those people. I have a community group and I've banned those people. Don't do that. But there are ways that you can offer your products, especially local buy, sell, here, trade groups. A lot of times you can sell inside of those groups, or at least market your products for sale. If you need to, you can start your own Facebook group and have your own local community that engages with that. That's how we have become well known inside of our community, and we've done events with that group, and we have continued to grow that group, and it now has 3,500 members, and it's all just local people in our community, and it works. But you need a way to actually connect with that audience. And the next why that you need to ask, all right, here you go. Why do you want to start a farm stand? And it goes back to your mission, your vision, your values. Why do you personally want to start your farm stand? I ask the question because it matters. And you need to be really clear on why you want to do this thing. Because, again, anybody can set up stuff on their front step. Anybody can just grow things and do things. But you need to be really clear on what that looks like. You got to get clear on why you want to do this thing. Because if not, you're going to burn yourself out. I promise you. The next video, we're going to continue to cover these 5 steps of this 5-step business plan. I want you to be able to have a basic foundation to start with. So go back to your mission, your vision, your values. Answer those 7 questions, the who, what, when, where, why, and how questions. Those are important. If you want more details about this, take a look at the description below. I think you're going to find the information down there a little bit more helpful. Come in, join our free Facebook group, ask questions. We'd love to be able to hear from you where you're at on your journey. And if you want to know a little bit more, again, grab the Farm Stand book that's available on Amazon. We'll catch you in the next video where we start talking a little bit more about each of these 5 steps.